Greetings everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. Let's get right back into Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Appreciate everybody who's been watching my videos and supporting me. I was actually a little ways into a recording and then the game crashed and caused my whole computer to crash as well. But hopefully this recording will go smoothly and we won't experience that issue again. Let's see. So Abandoned Mansion was where I just was. That's not it. This is the elevator. That's 10,000 Delights. I don't know what that stuff over there is. How do I get over? There seems like it's something over there, but I have no idea how I get to that. Yeah, that looks like stuff that you should be able to walk around in, right? But I have no idea. Okay. So, let's play around with those doors over there and see if there's something. Actually, wait. Palace of Incest and Indecency portal up. Have I used that portal up before? We're gonna go over there. Make sure I explored everything that I could possibly do over there. I probably have, but here we go. Yep, killed all these guys. So it's this portal in the back, okay. I don't remember using this. Where do you go? Oh, this is the one that pretty much goes nowhere. Okay. There's a chest here.
I am helpful, am I not?
Excellent.
I can see my destination.
And there's a Lord religion there. The symbols inscribed on the wall belong to the language of the Titans, the first creations of the gods, and themselves the creators of the sinister Demodans. Cool. Oh, there's something I can get there. Something I can apply there, but I don't think they've completely fleshed all that out. Like, we've run into several of those, but nothing to actually put into them, so I'm going to ignore that for now. I see the shadow area there, but I can't hit it. Huh, okay. Alright, so it looks like... Wait, what's over here? Right, well, let us hit this now. It wouldn't let us use this before. Alright. Okay. So we still can't hit that yet. And this Palace of Indecency, yeah, I remember that. That's where I hired the succubi. Alright. So, search that already. Now, there are two things that are not marked over there. What's this? I don't remember what this is. This lock looks familiar. Oh, here we go. Okay. A hunt is a clash between the hunter's cunning and the shrewdness of the prey. When the prey expects a trap, the hunter's acumen is put to the test in trying to subvert such expectations. Willidus has proven he understands the fundamental principle. The commander bursts through the front door and freezes. For all the tales about the mansion supposedly becoming a citadel, no one is there to assault the unwanted guest. There are no flying arrows, no chilling battle cries, and the expensive furniture hasn't been turned into makeshift barricades. The commander and his companions carefully examine the luxurious antechamber. There are two doors leading deeper into the mansion. One bears the symbol of a mirror, and the other a symbol of a knife. There's a bloody pigeon feather in front of the doors, and a note that contains two words: "Welcome, assassin." The commander recalls that the bloody feather is a symbol of Shaxa, the Blood Marquise. This demon lord is infamous for luring his victims into labyrinths full of deadly traps. So I should have saved before I went into here. Ah, that's good to know. The door slammed shut loudly behind him. The commander opens the door with the knife symbol. They say the pets reflect the character and disposition of their owners. If this is true, then the lord of the mansion has a truly cruel and perverse disposition. The commander enters a spacious cellar filled with scattered bones and cages. All of them are wide open, and all the creatures they once contained are freely roaming the room. They've all come from different planes. Some are monsters, some are mere animals, some are intelligent species. Yet all of them shamble around aimlessly. They pant loudly, and drool drips from their slack jaws and open mouths. Their horribly mutilated and scarred heads provide evidence as to the reason for this behavior. A merciless surgeon has opened their skulls and taken out most of their brains, leaving only the bits that govern the most base instincts, such as hunger. And these creatures are very hungry indeed. The commander decides... What do I decide to do? Hey, that'll work. To distract the monsters. Samori Sykes picks up a bone shard and deftly throws it towards the other side of the room. The hollow thunk attracts the attention of the creatures, and they shamble towards the noise. Their drooling jaws snap in anticipation. One of the mindless abominations bites one of the others, mistaking it for prey, and a noisy brawl breaks out between them. The fight is loud enough to allow the commander to slip past unseen. 3 doors lead from this dark cellar, and its oppressive stink of blood and decay. The commander decisively reaches out for the one marked with the symbol of a tooth-filled maw. Everyone makes mistakes. The difference between an amateur and an expert is simply that the expert knows how to hide these mistakes in some deep, dark hole. It seems the commander has found the place where the lord of the mansion hides his mistakes. The walls of this room are splattered with blood up to the ceiling, and the floor is shaped like a funnel. There's a stand for steel poles with bloody hooks at their ends. Grave diggers use such tools to drag dead plague victims onto their corpse carts. With a sudden click, the stone floor turns to ice, causing the commander to slip and slide down toward the giant gap in the center of the room, where it is now possible to discern a maw. It is a giant round mouth with hundreds of long, sharp teeth, a massive throat, and the staggeringly foul odor of hundreds and hundreds of decaying corpses. This maw is a gigantic corpse eater, which gorges itself on the results of failed and unsuccessful experiments. The commander... By the way, I've never done this before, so this is actually super cool. I've never encountered this puzzle. Because in the first time I played, Greyboar's quest line was broke. So the game thought that I had already done this and then moved me on to the second part, skipping all this. And then it did not allow me to go back and complete it. All right. Mobility... Hey, perception. Decides to fight the monster, looking for its most vulnerable spot. Samori Sykes narrows his eyes and jumps straight towards the gaping maw of the beast. What at first seemed to be a suicidal act turns out to be a flawlessly calculated attack. Samori Sykes delivers a deadly blow to the creature's inner organs, causing something inside to burst with a loud squelch. With a chilling shriek, the monster dies and its frightful jaws stop moving forever. Something glimmers faintly within the fallen beast, catching the commander's eye. The crusader who is brave enough to delve inside their carnivorous monster is rewarded with a trinket that must have belonged to one of its victims. Apparently, the trinket was too durable to be chewed up and digested by the monster's putrid stomach. 3 doors with different symbols lead from the monster's lair. Upon reflection, the commander decides to open the one bearing the symbol of a boiling cauldron. I'm also choosing all these at random, kind of, but I'm also choosing the ones that seem the most dangerous because I figured that's the ones that people would avoid and might be closer to the exit. I have no idea though. We'll see. Hey, what's this? And I see nothing. What in the hell? So I did a boiling cauldron. A nature check failed. And that's it. The lock is familiar. These locks are used by monster traders from Katapesh, who want to ensure their powerful beasts stay in their cages. Can't be forced, but one delicate twist of a knife and done. And we still seem to be sitting here. Here we go. Oh. Great. It's broken? Come on. Alright. Pressing spacebar does nothing. Pressing 1, 2, or 3 does nothing. Alright, yep, it's stuck. Let's load the most recent save, I guess. Alright, and try to do that again. I guess we got to get it right the first time. Or hey, maybe there is no way to get it right. Maybe the game just won't let you in, period. Oh, cool. So I did save right before I went into it? Isn't that nice? All right. Let's try this again. This time we'll go in the door with the mirror symbol instead of the knife. I'm not going to read through all this because it might not work anyway. 27, 36. We already went through them all. Let's go with pair of scales. Sure. Wait. Hoping to finish it off. Yeah, we'll scare it off. A full moon. And back outside again. Interesting. And it's rolling some sort of nature check.
Search for the beauty with your heart.
And once again, we can only do it once. Okay, I'm going to give it a whirl one more time, y'all. See if we can find the special series of responses that are going to get us in. But if this doesn't work, then we'll just have to move on, unfortunately.
Search for the beauty with your heart.
Okay, so this is a skill check issue. All right. You do that. You do that. And we'll go back through knife. Intimidate them. We'll go through mirror. Stealth. We'll go through a crooked knife. Scare them. Through Phil Mall. Pair of scales. Blazing fire. Run. The door doesn't budge. The commander forces it open with his weight and enters the same hall where this dangerous expedition first began. The cozy, comfortable setting in no way hints at the nightmares that awaited the commander inside the mansion. The door outside is wide open, and through the doorway, dark figures can be seen clutching weapons. All of this was nothing but a warm-up. The final, decisive battle is still to come. The commander prepares for a fight as he steps outside the accursed mansion. Hey, there we go. All right. The leader of this gang of demons is grotesquely disfigured, even by the standards of the Abyss. A disproportionately large and bloated head rests on a tiny, disformed body covered in bumps and furrows like a shriveled walnut. What seems at first to be a mane of hair standing up on end is revealed upon closer inspection to be bone needles sticking out from his pale, blistered skin. Where the mouth should be, there is instead a bony plate formed from yellowing teeth that have grown together. It protrudes out from his torn, lacerated lips. His voice appears to come from a slobbering, undulating hole in his neck just beneath his chin. More bloody lava showing up at my palace. I'm getting very tired of these visits. What a freak. Even I feel somewhat conflicted. Would killing this creature be an act of cruelty or mercy? I do not wish to show mercy to the scum that set me up. Who are you? A snort of derision escapes from the creature's throat, and he makes a dismissive gesture with his hand, his dirty nails curling into long, thin spirals. You don't even know you've decided to challenge? Let these worlds herald your imminent death, outsider. I am Willidus, the wizard confidant and advisor to the Lady in Shadows. I am also known as the Vivisector. Greybor smirks, not bothering to hide his contempt. So many words. I'll simply call you a corpse. Less impressive sounding, perhaps, but easy to remember. Why did you turn your house into a trap? I was expecting assassins, and therefore I prepared a warm welcome for such guests. I trust that you appreciated my vivarium. When I am finished with you, you become a new decoration for my palace, and another test for those who follow you. You will be mine. Some of you will be mindless pets, and the more attractive ones, I may use you to meet other needs. The monstrosity giggles lecherously, and the sound is shrill and repulsive, like metal against glass. Did you create the monsters I found in the mansion? The demon cackles with glee and replies scornfully, You call them monsters, silly boy. What can you possibly know about it? Those are masterpieces of vivisection. Impossible creations conceived not by nature, but born of my scalpel, needle, and magic. So who do you think wants you dead? My enemies are many and dangerous, and I can spend an eternity guessing, but there's no need for that. Once I've killed you, I'll soak your warm little brains in my concoctions and read the names of my enemies like tea leaves in their wrinkled patterns. And then I'll have a lovely dinner. There's a greedy, predatory gleam in those tiny eyes, buried deep within the folds of wrinkled flesh. Why did you put a hit out on Darazan and give Greybor a faulty magical weapon? The demon hisses in frustration, spittle flying from the hole in his neck. Nonsense! Why would I want that idiot dead? What possessed him to think I'm the one who put a hit out on him? And how dare you pathetic amateurs even think that a scheme of mine might possibly fail? If I truly wanted to kill Darazan, he'd be long gone. But no, I don't give a damn about anyone from that swarm of locusts. I expected such an answer. For some reason, whenever I corner these scoundrels or demand a reckoning, none of them are brave enough to own up to their crimes, and they never go quietly when I slit their throat. What do you think, Greybor? The dwarf shrugs and says thoughtfully, Usually I'm quite capable of detecting lies, but this ugly wretch is impossible to read. And why does it matter anyway? Even if he's not lying, we do well to get rid of him. He just tried to kill us in his mansion. Besides, will you ever sleep well knowing this monstrosity is alive somewhere? Your words reek of deceit. The demon's cloudy eyes flare with anger, and his smug giggles give way to a low, menacing growl. Soon, we shall find out what your tiny, ridiculous, worm-eating brain smells like. Kill him! The dwarf grins ominously, and as he looks at the demon, there is no mercy in his eyes. I won't lie. I've been waiting for this moment. Tomorrow morning, my reputation will be spotless once again. Sweet dreams. All right, finally. A little bit of this. Well, that's right, no haste. Huh. All right. We'll deal with it. Yeah, let's give him some of this. And get it on and pop it. Let's go. The projection is that of a tall female demon. Unlike many of her kind, she seems slimmer and less stocky in build. Upon closer examination, you realize that her thinness is caused by extreme emaciation, which makes her look like a withered tree. The skin on her neck and wrist bears the markers of shackles, and her body is covered with flaming seals of Baphomet. Lowering her eyes, the demon addresses you quietly. Allow me to congratulate you. The short work you've made of Willidus proves you are a true professional. I am Horzala, and on behalf of the Assassin's Guild, I congratulate Greybor on completing this contract. You have fulfilled the order we received for Willidus' murder, and therefore you have the right to collect the bounty, even though you are not a guild member yourself. I'm sure you also have many questions about what happened. I doubt our guild is hard to find. There's a notice board at its entrance where the assassination contracts are posted. Who are you? I am Horzalau, Baphomet's daughter. The projection looks you in the eye and adds in an aggrieved whisper, Horzalau, not Hepzibah. She is my elder sister, but I doubt you're able to appreciate the true extent of my misfortune. I am also known Alan Shinra as the right hand and assistant of Yoz, the head of the Assassin's Guild. Do you know what happened here? I may know a thing or two, but we should discuss these matters inside the guild, not in public. Who's going to overhear us? The corpses? Why don't you come here and speak to us face to face instead of projecting an illusion? Or are you afraid we won't like your answers and make you join Willidus? At the sight of the demon's sour expression, Greybor gives an aggressive snort. We'll pay a visit to the Assassin's Guild soon. Thank you for your answer. The bounty awaits you. I'm not sure what reward awaits us, but I truly hope it's a considerable sum of gold and not a meager payment served up at the end of a blade. All right. One part done. Oops. Doesn't look like any of these people are going to give us anything special. Yep. That's just same old stuff that'll get sold. All right. Our chalet. Where do I get yours? So I went over here. We just came here. We confirmed nothing's there. That's a portal up. And there's a door here that I'm unfamiliar with. So let's take this portal up and see what's that about. Slave. Yeah, we've been there before. Is this the door we're unfamiliar with? Let's see. What's in here? Leave. Verdict says... And yep, this is it. Awesome. Succubus Enchanter. Take this. Sorry. It doesn't keep the game contained on the screen, so if you accidentally click off screen, it takes you out of the game. Awesome. Okay. Whatever that song is that he's playing is probably not all that good for me. Won't let me see the effects though. Whatever. Wow, he's got a dragon sitting on the table? That's wild. A handsome young man in a snow-white toga reclines in a plush armchair next to a table heaving with sumptuous food. Flowers are nestled in his blonde curls, while gems sparkle on his half-bare chest. A boy sits on the floor before him, rubbing the soles of the man's feet with scented oil. The master of the house greets our chalet with a wave of his hand. Even the glittering rings cannot hide his black scabbed fingers oozing with pus. There you are, my venomous butterfly, more beautiful than ever. I see that taking a stroll around the world of mortals did you some good. You're slimmer, and there's a healthy flush to your cheeks, just like a doll. His eyes examine you with languorous curiosity. And what is this, a souvenir from Golarion? A handsome one, isn't he? So fresh, so hale. You've barely used him, I see. My name is Samori Sykes. Actually, stay silent. Please, sit, eat. And as I'm feeling magnanimous today, your mortal pet may also partake. Just look at this purple table I've laid in honor of you coming. See these grapes? Every single one is gilded. And this wine from the ruins of Anslant is older than any living mortal, many demons, and even some of the gods. And last, but certainly not least, behold our main course, a roasted drake. They eat us all the time, so why shouldn't we return the favor? Aslant is a lost continent in the Arcadian Ocean that was the first center of human culture on Galarian. Brought together by the intelligence of the ancient aquatic race of the Aboleths, Aslanti culture and society grew by leaps and bounds until the arrogant leaders began to think of themselves as superior to their inhuman masters. In retribution, the Aboleth called down the meteor shower known as Earthfall in 5293 before Absalon Reckoning, sinking the entire continent and condemning Galarian to the Age of Darkness. Now all that remains of the once mighty continent are a string of islands and atolls spread across a large swath of the mid-Arcadian Ocean. Thank you. Aurishale hesitantly plucks one of the gilded grapes, puts it in her mouth, and chews slowly. It's been a while since I last saw you, Dyrmachio. What happened to your hands? The Azada raises his disfigured hands and smiles innocently. Don't you remember what these hands did at your behest? It seems the nature of the Azada cannot contain all the freedom granted by the Abyss without sustaining a little damage. But it's nothing, it barely hurts. Go on, eat. This is all for you. Or perhaps you prefer some human meat. Dyrmachio grabs the slave boy by the hair and presses a sharp and manicured nail to the boy's throat. Do you want me to serve him instead? Don't. I don't eat human meat. Aurishale throws you a remorseful look and forces herself to finish. Anymore. On a diet? Afraid of getting fat? Clever girl. You succubi must take very good care of your looks. It's not like you have anything else. Now, if you don't mind, I think I'll sample this fine repast. He picks up a piece of meat and chews on it with great relish, then wipes the grease and pus oozing from his hands on the boy's hair. Lawful, don't talk to her like that. Please, there's no need for that. I'll talk to him myself. Dyrmachio, I've come to ask for forgiveness. I did this to you. I turned you into this. It's my fault. Fault? The fallen Azada laughs melodiously. What are you on about, darling? I'm happy now, thanks to you. Who was I back in Elysium? A destitute good-for-nothing. All I did was flutter around singing ditties. And now, he gestures around the rich interior with his disfigured hand. I've got everything I could dream of. Treasures, slaves, the very best grub. I sleep in comfort and with whoever I want. They respect me in this city. I open my purse and they prostrate themselves before me. All my enemies are gone now. What else is there to want? I'm happy. This isn't happiness. Is it not? That's news to me. If having all your dreams come true isn't happiness, then what is? Fine. Let your mortal pet be the arbiter. You there, human, what say you? Am I happy or am I not? There's no justice in the Abyss, and there can be no happiness without it. What drivel? Do you even hear the nonsense you're spouting? What does justice have to do with it? Aurishale, why did you bring me this dreadful boar? I remember what you were when I first met you. So brave, so kind, so inspired, and I ruined you. Forgive me. Bah! All you did was teach me what life is all about. I didn't find it amusing back then, but now I understand your valuable lesson. The old me would never have achieved what I have now. I didn't even have desires as such. What did I want? Justice? Freedom? Sugary froth and idealistic drivel. I should thank you for opening that milksop's eyes. Instead of replying, Aurishale begins to hum some strange melody. Enough! Stop that. It's making my head hurt. You want some music? Here's real music for you. Hey! Dyrmachio claps imperiously. 3 scantily clad succubi enter the room and start playing musical instruments. Do you recognize those dresses? You are the same one that night you dumped me for the first time. I bawled like a simpleton, but it doesn't matter anymore. I'm always married now. Every time I bend one of them over, I picture your face that day. Hey! Demalchio angrily turns toward the succubi. Which of you is out of tune? Hey, you! What am I paying you for? To ruin my strings? Give yourself 20 lashes. The succubus produces a whip. Demalchio grins lasciviously, his eyes darting from the musician to Aura-Shale and back. Aura-Shale, you have no idea how much I want to behead him right now. Why don't you wear dresses like that anymore? They'd really suit you. Stay silent. Aura-Shale stands up. I've tried to apologize, but you clearly don't need my apologies. Let's have it your way, then. I just want you to know I wholeheartedly regret what I've done to you. Goodbye, Demalchio. I'm leaving, and this time for good. Sit down, you whore. The Azada slams his hand on the table, staining the cloth with black pus. The other succubi produce whips and smirk at Aura-Shale and you. You're not leaving this place again. You're mine by right, and you'll stay mine forever. That's enough. I don't want to kill you. There's no need to fight. Let's go our separate ways and not hurt each other anymore. Desna knows we've had enough of that already. Oh, I don't want to kill you either. I want to gouge out your eyes and fuck your eye holes. Then I'll perforate your tender skin and fuck every one of those holes too. Then I'll drill a hole in your head and... He stands up. I haven't even begun to hurt you, bitch. I've dreamt of this day for so long. You! Get them! Appeal to the succubi. It was I who tempted Aura-Shale and forced her onto the path of good. Run away or meet the same fate. That's awesome. What? The path of good? Ew, disgusting. What if I catch it? No, I'm not getting involved in this. That's awesome. That is amazing. Hell no. You bastard. Just wait until I get my... What are you waiting for? Get them. Take the wench alive. You made the mortal right here. Get to it, you layabouts. Demalchio's servants lunge at you. All right. Some more of this. Y'all are all looking kind of spread out. Let's use some of this. Get some of this going. You still got plenty of that? She does. Yeah, that'll do. Actually, no, I like a little hellfire in this situation. And you two just do whatever you're gonna do. Lovely. The Azada bares his teeth in a truly demonic snarl as he points his weapon at Aura-Shale's chest. You're going nowhere, bitch. Nowhere. You're mine. Demalchio, I've renounced evil. Now I serve Desna, your former mistress. If she gave a succubus like me a chance, surely she could forgive you too. The path of ascension is difficult, but... Am I a toy to you? You send me to the abyss on a whim, then you change your mind and call me back to Elysium. Stuff your ascension up your... The Azada shakes his head. Suddenly he looks desperate. Aura-Shale, my girl, my butterfly, enough of this nonsense. Do you want me to apologize? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say any of that. I just missed you so much. I needed you so much. You're my only desire, my only dream. You alone. Demalchio falls to his knees and reaches for Aura-Shale, who recoils in disgust. Everything I've hoarded, the treasures, the slaves, it's all for you. Stay, I beg of you. I'll give you everything. I will be all yours. Just don't leave me. Please don't leave. Our Chalet, he's lying to you, even if he thinks he's telling the truth now. I know. I'm sorry, Demalchio, but I can't trust you. Get up, Demalchio. That's enough. For the last time, repent. Either follow me on the path to Desna, or get out of my way and let me go. It's like that then? Fallen Azada jumps to his feet. Then I would rather die than let you leave here alive. Boom, 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 boom. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, but I assume make my way over here. Oh, okay, yeah, they're blocking the exit. Cool. Still got plenty of holy aura? I do.
The goddess protects us.
And let's get it popping.
Danger ahead!
Any issue? 4. She's good. He's lost a level, but that'll be fine in time. Excellent. Our Chalet kneels before the dead Azada's body. She closes his eyes and plants a kiss on his bloodied forehead. Forgive me, Demalchio. Forgive me, and farewell. Let's go, Samori Sykes. The succubus wipes away her tears. There is nothing left for us here. I'm sorry it had to end this way. Thank you. I hoped I could make things right, but the harm I caused was already irreversible. It's all my fault, and there's nothing I can do about it now. Our Chalet shakes her head ruefully. What just happened here? Everything he said, I need to reflect on it. I want to talk about it, but not right now. Later, when I've had a chance to sort out my thoughts and emotions. Okay. And that's that. Loot him. Oh, looks like he might have given us some good stuff. Let's check this out. What did he give? A spear and a belt. Oh, but we can see what the belt is. All right, so it's just the spear that is good. Here we go. Stormcaller, +5 Thundering Spear. All creatures summoned by the wielder deal additional 1d6 sonic damage per attack. Well, this seems perfect for my Lich, except why isn't it a scythe? Sorry, scythe. All right. Let's go. Okay, so we've got both of those. Now, I want to help to the Assassin's Guild, see if we can close off Greyboar's quest. I'm going to use the elevator for that. Boom.
Without a doubt.
Boom. 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 So the only thing I'm afraid of is last game, it got bugged. Luckily, I went in there and moved forward Greyboar stuff before it happened, but that whole section that lowers and rises, that door at the bottom is where the Assassin's Guild is. And that whole area gets bugged super easily. We'll see how it is this time, though. The door is back here. Alright, so. Right, see it lowers down weirdly like that. Oh, but it's letting us in this time. Supposedly. Oh, except one of my pets got stuck. Isn't that nice? Alright, let's see if this will work.
Esmo, Axe, Yase.
I can see my destination.
Excellent. And here we are. Blood Moon. Okay. The demon standing before you clearly has a penchant for jewelry. His fingers are covered in rings. 3 gold chains encircle his neck, and 4 bejeweled earrings sparkle in each of his ears. However, such exquisite adornments are not enough to hide the fact that he is a hardened warrior and a ruthless killer. His face and hands are covered in long, badly healed scars, and he moves as gracefully as the most skilled swordsman. The demon's lip curl in a satisfied sneer as he greets you loudly. Look who's here. It's the arrogant Golarion who disposed of our poor Willidus. He catches your eye and frowns slightly, giving a pointed glance towards his bodyguards. You aren't about to do something really stupid and start a massacre here, right? Can we just talk? Who are you, the leader of this gang of assassins? The demon gives a dignified nod. Yes, and I'm proud of it. The Abyss is full of butchers and monsters, so anyone who chooses to be an assassin among monsters and butchers commands a high level of respect, if they live long enough to make a name for themselves, of course. My guild attracts assassins from many planes. No one hires us for simple things like murdering noisy neighbors or cutting the throat of a cheating merchant. As I'm sure you know, it's easier and cheaper to do that yourself, and there's no need to get assassins involved. No, if someone turns to an assassin, it means that the victim is a dangerous, cunning, and well-protected target. I've heard a lot about you, Yos. You're the head of a highly reputable guild that operates on many planes besides the Abyss. Many of my colleagues would consider it an honor to work aside you, unlike myself. Nod towards the projection. This horn thing is one of yours, isn't it? Horzala? Yes, this little demon girl is one of my most useful servants. Besides, it's so very prestigious to have a daughter of Baphomet working under you. Yo's glances at the human horn demon with a mix of condescension and possessiveness. She stares fixedly at the floor. Yes, master, I am your servant. For a fleeting moment, you notice a shadow of angry displeasure cross her face. A spark of fear flashes in Yos' eyes, like a boy who realizes he's gone too far when tasting the patience of his parents. Tell me the truth right now. Yos raises his hands apologetically. Silver rings glitter on his fingers. Fine, fine. I was the one who actually gave Greybor assignments. I needed to light a little fire underneath this cauldron where so many minions of demon lords are being mixed together. I ordered him to murder those demons in Kenebres, and I put a hit out on Darazan, although that ugly idiot didn't bother me at all. But he was an ugly idiot indeed, and a vengeful one to boot. That's why I gave Greybor a dagger that was only supposed to wound the Baylor, and that is why using Willidus' name was important. It was a perfect hand of cards. Darazan survived after suffering a painful, humiliating wound by a mortal's hand. No offense, of course. The Baylor couldn't simply let that go, and so he started a vendetta against Willidus, dragging other Deskarites into it. And that was my goal all along, because Willidus was my real target, a target that was very difficult to reach. Yo seems to revel in his own cleverness. He smirks and smiles with smug satisfaction. The dwarf gives a grim chuckle and whispers loudly enough to be heard, "People like you are why us assassins have a lousy reputation. No respect for agreements. You acted dishonorably." Do you expect an assassin to be honorable? What touching naivete! The demon sneers derisively and toys with a giant diamond ring. Catching Greybor's disapproving stare, he gives a dazzling smile, seemingly pleased to have provoked a reaction. What concerns me is not the contract killing itself, but the fact that I haven't yet been paid a single coin. You are the head of the Assassin's Guild. Why didn't you send your underlings after Willidus? Yos grimaces slightly and replies with visible displeasure, "Who says I didn't? I lost a number of capable killers. He collects himself quickly and the arrogant smile returns to his face. And yet, as you can see, I found a more elegant and economical way to execute this plan. I won't lie to you, this kind of plotting makes me very proud of my own guile. Greyboar snorts derisively. So these are your guild's finest? They hardly seem professional. It looks like Greyboar and I reached Willidus before your killers. Yaz smirks and gives a dismissive wave. Oh, please. I had no intention of sending anyone after him. But my assistants made sure that every larva in this city knew about the bounty on Willidus' head. I knew that Greyboar returned to Alan Shinra and decided to use him once more. Just like poor Darazan, he had no idea he was merely a pawn of mine. Just as I envisioned, you didn't linger and paid him a visit before anyone else could. I had no doubt that paranoid Willidus would try to kill anyone who crossed his doorstep, but I expected you to overcome him. And I was right. Why did you do all this? For money and power, of course. This has been my primary motivation for many years now. Somebody wanted that old wood lost dead, and clever Yols has fulfilled their wish with the expectation of being showered in privileges and treasures. You're getting a share of those privileges and treasures, by the way. I trust you're not going to refuse the reward provided for freelance operatives. Trust me, the sum is considerable. Yols turns his attention to Greyboar and adds, I haven't forgotten about you either. You'll be rewarded in proportion to your truly astonishing lethality. Accepted a reward. Oh, I'll take the gold, don't you worry. The demon flashes his perfect, sharp teeth and then snaps his fingers. Suddenly a thick purse appears in front of you, smelling of exquisite perfume. I had no doubt we'd come to an understanding. After all, we share a common language, the language of gold. Since it was my reputation that was damaged as a result of this plot, I consider it fair to lay claim to 20% of the total fee. Give 20% to Greyboar. That is only fair. Greyboar nods and gives a grunt of satisfaction. I appreciate your integrity when it comes to business, Samori Sykes. As for you, Greyboar, you've proven your competence. As a token of apology, allow me to offer you membership in my Assassin's Guild. Consider it the recognition of your talents that you have long desired. I promise you prestige, respect, and truly staggering fees. Of course, I won't demand that you sever your current contract. You may claim your well-deserved place in our league when it expires. So then, what do you say? Will I be welcoming you to the big league? Greyboar turns to you with a very serious expression. His voice is reserved and formal. Samori Sykes, we are bound by an active agreement, and therefore I must consult your opinion on this invitation. Are you truly prepared to throw in your lot with demons? With a heavy sigh, the dwarf looks you straight in the eye. Is there really much of a difference between me and them? They are the product of the worst parts of our mortal souls. They are sin incarnate. Many say the same thing about me. I was never a coward, so I'm able to admit that my soul is black and evil. I murder others for money, and I shall never become a respectable member of society, a friend, or a father. But I'm tired of asking forgiveness for what I am. Here, I will not be judged for my profession. Greyboar clenches his fist and mutters through gritted teeth, I am not the freak or monster they think me back on Golarion. How dare they hire me to murder their enemies and then despise me for my profession? They'll treat me differently in the Abyss. The demons respect my skills. They would treat me as a professional, not a criminal or a blackguard. It's strange to say this, but I don't feel out of place here. Have you thought about quitting the business? And become what? A farmer? A butler? Or maybe an innkeeper? One of those who tell tall tales about their adventurous youth to drunk patrons? My soul is that of a wanderer and a killer. My art is my only source of pride, and abandoning it will make me useless in my own eyes. Believe me, I already tried to settle down and find an honest job, and nothing good came from it. I should quit my profession only when I'm judged by Pharasma herself. It's your decision to make. Greyboar studies you for a moment, then nods respectfully. Such words make me respect you even more. Believe me, I appreciate your willingness to let this decision be entirely my own. The dwarf does not waste words as he looks at Yaz. Where do I sign? What are you talking about? We're not devils after all. Yaz laughs and claps his hands loudly. Splendid! You've got a bright future here, my diminutive yet deadly friend. Yaz gives a bored yawn and there's a note of finality to his tone. Well, this was a very enlightening conversation, but I see no reason why we should continue. You've received your answers and should probably be on your way. Meanwhile, I should get back to plotting another bloody and violent murder. Have a good day. After a suspicious glance in Yaz's direction, Greyboard turns to you. Indeed, this was an unexpected meeting. If you want to discuss what happened privately, I'm at your service, Commander.
This war must end.
All right. The brute stares at you suddenly, but his lips remain sealed. Oh, here she goes. However, Zalad doesn't like it when assassins chatter with the client. Go talk to superiors. It's weird that you can't talk to her at all, considering she's the one who brought you here in the first place, but whatever. Okay. I feel like there's something more here, like maybe there's supposed to be another quest or something, but it's just not in the game yet. Why did it have me turn on the way like that? Okay. Next. Across here. I think this is the way, right? Trainer. Alright, that's the interpreter. So now let's go to Valexia, who I believe was ready to introduce us to Shamira. Up. And yep, here we go. I believe this should be available now. What do you want, stranger? I wish to enter. The demon shrugs. You are known in the city. I don't think Shamira would deny you an audience. Come in. All right.
I can see my destination.
It was a good idea of mine to introduce you to high society at this reception. We're subject of gossip among the guests. I heard them whispering about how we showed up together. You look stunning in your new outfit as usual. That's something I already repeated before. Might piss her off. Let's see. Alexia covers her mouth with her hand and she gives an elegant little laugh. I certainly couldn't go out wearing the same dress as last time, could I? I would have bored you. Moreover, I would have bored myself. Camelia's eyes narrow, and for a moment, she looks at Valexia with barely concealed envy. That dress was an excellent choice. It brings out the color of your eyes quite beautifully. Valexia looks slightly bewildered. She seems surprised that a mortal would speak to her without first waiting to be addressed. However, after a moment's hesitation, she gives Camelia a gentle smile. I thank you, sweet creature. How kind of you to notice. You clearly have excellent taste. Shamira's voice rings out. Shamira's voice rings out through the hall. All rise. The proceedings will now begin with the suspension of false justice. I, Shamira the Ardent Dream, will perform the duties of judge. The rights of prosecution will be granted to anyone acquainted with rage and hatred, and the part of the defender will be given to time and blind fate. All the participants are obligated to show due dread and obedience to the decisions of the court. Now, our first case is brought by the assassin Doug Ward against the bodyguard for hire, Catrol. Doug Ward accuses Catrol of being exceedingly nimble and dexterous. This excessive dexterity enabled the defendant to foil 3 assassination attempts against his employer, thus preventing the plaintiff from fulfilling his contract. Valexia is more interested in having a conversation than in watching the sham trial. You know, my dear friend, after our last, Alexia pauses playfully, visit to the Battle Bliss, I've been thinking a lot about the customs of Golarion. Despite our differences, we actually have a lot in common. Our actions and desires stem from the same passions, except when it comes to... Alexia's eyes widen with excitement as she utters a word that is as foreign to the Abyss as you are. To love. It is common knowledge that demons know nothing about love, so why don't you explain it to me? It is a pure and uplifting feeling in your soul that cleanses your heart of all burdens and pains. Alexia stares at you with wide eyes as she repeats your words. Pure and uplifting feeling. How intriguing and how unfamiliar. Our passions are tempestuous and our feelings stem from the darkest depths of our souls. But you say this feeling is pure. Fascinating. Growling with rage, Control the bodyguard has his head chopped off with a giant axe for being too good at his job. The crowd roars its approval, and the beaming plaintiff counts his coins. Alexia, it is not true that love restricts freedom, and that its harsh constraints can sometimes lead to cruel, evil deeds? Does not love force people to act contrary to their desires and subordinate them to the object of their affection? Do not even the most loving souls feel occasional regret about trading away their freedom for love? Haven't the most terrible betrayals been committed for the sake of love? Doesn't unrequited love cause mortals to commit suicide? And isn't rejection the reason they often resort to violence and other terrible crimes? I am most curious to hear your answers to these questions. Yes, when a mortal cannot control their emotions, their love can become a devastating force. That's why the feelings and emotions of the heart must be governed by the logic and reason of the mind. The demon looks at you more closely. You speak of love as if it were a weapon. A true warrior respects their blade because it is capable of cutting down enemies and careless owners alike. You treat love as carefully as you would a sword. The execution has the audience in an uproar. The demons howl their approval, and Shamir has to raise her voice to be heard above the noise. Next, we'll hear the case of Barsa, the Nose Cutter. He attacked two of Alanshura's visitors from another plane, even though the great Nocticula made it clear that they were under her protection. Barsa, the Nose Cutter, tracked down his victims in the upper city and killed them with his glaive. Then he robbed them and cut off their tongues and noses. The scrawny demon doesn't look... The scrawny demon doesn't look like a hardened killer. He writhes in his shackles, yelling hysterically, "But I am not Barsa the Nose Cutter. I don't even know who that is. My name is Sharzal, and I've never been to the Upper City. I'm not allowed to enter, even though that's where a slaver of my status should live. Besides, I've never held a glaive in my life. This is all Hepsamira's fault. She wanted to buy my slaves at half price, and I refused to sell. And now she's taking revenge against me and plans to get her hands on my slaves." It seems to me that love is like a living creature. Sometimes it behaves one way and at times another way. It is contradictory and inconsistent. It leads to both good and bad outcomes, and, like every living creature, it is bound to die eventually. After all, every love, no matter how strong, is doomed to die. Is that not so? Ember nods seriously. That is true. Love always ends. It either ceases to be love or is lost altogether when the one we love dies. That is why we mortals value love so much. We know that it will be over before we are ready. Love comes and goes, but duties and responsibilities remain. Oh, you know what? I didn't do this last time. Whisper to the hand of the inheritor. More than ever. Take a look at this place. She brought you here to witness this mockery of justice, to watch this genuine insult to truth and fairness. She's either trying to provoke you to violence or make you one of her obedient puppets. Love comes and goes, but duties and responsibilities remain. Valencia smiles at you sadly. A stern knight in armor, that's what you are. It is duty, not love, that reigns in your heart. Yet surely that does not stop others from loving you. If anything, your unshakable devotion makes you even more desirable. I did not get this response before, so the responses you make definitely matter, because last time I did this, she got bored with what I was saying. I'm pretty sure. Shamira shouts to be heard above the screams of Varsa the Nose Cutter. The court finds the evidence of the indicted person's innocence to be quite convincing. However, false justice requires every sin be punished, so therefore, I hereby declare that this demon is Varsa the Nose Cutter, and he should be executed without further delay. Shamir throws a conspiratorial glance at Hepzibah, who stands nearby. The latter grins and bows mockingly. Shamir announces loudly, "And the last crime for today is the most harmful and treacherous." Listen to Shamira attentively. Oh crap, I shouldn't have done that. I meant to listen to Alexia. I might have to do this whole freaking thing over. Sorry. The crime of sinful mercy, and the offense was further aggravated by an attempt at self-sacrifice. A tiefling is brought forward in chains. Shamira glares furiously at the bloodied, beaten figure. The mortal who stands before you is a descendant of Sharzal, a slave trader who died recently. A week ago, this tiefling was offered the chance to be an accomplice in the murder of his progenitor, Sharzal, in exchange for a portion of Sharzal's slave holdings. However, this mortal refused to participate in such a cunning, highly profitable murder, driven by some insane familiar sentiment and a disgusting display of fondness. Shamira literally spits out the last word. He warned Sharzal about the possible attempt on his life and personally hired Control, one of the best bodyguards in Alan Shura, to guard his father's life. Shamira has to shout to be heard over the indignant clamor of her demonic audience. There's more. During the last attempt on Sharzal's life, this mortal, driven by the most disgusting feelings of duty and gratitude for his own existence, tried to cover his father with his own body to save him from the assassin's dagger. We find such actions to be criminally insane and dangerous. Therefore, false justice demands that we sentence this mortal to death. Sharzal's property will be declared destitute of an heir and henceforth accessible to anyone who wishes to take possession of it. The tiefling is too weak to protest, and at a signal from Shamira, he's executed by the guards. Alexia smiles at you, her eyes sparkling with excitement. She seems uninterested in the drama that just played out before your eyes. Thank you for our conversation. I expected to find it interesting, but I had no idea that our discussion would be so thought-provoking. I am so glad I decided to come here with you, and I sincerely hope that you'll visit me again. I hope to see you at my manor soon. I host small receptions for the most interesting and noteworthy residents of the Upper City. Conversations at these receptions are always entertaining. If you were to attend, we could continue our discussion about love. Of course, I seriously doubt my guests would be as interested in the topic as am I, so perhaps we should finish our conversation in private. I hope to see you soon, dear friend. Don't stay away too long. I'm looking forward to your next visit. Alexia gives you a dazzling smile, then vanishes into thin air. All right. All right, so that worked out. Don't bother me while I'm dispensing false justice.
Without a doubt.
Boom, 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 boom. what's going on here?
Let me help.
Oh, that's the same group that's always arguing out there.
There are many roads to success.
Okay, I think that's enough for one day. I hope all of you enjoyed the play session today. If you did, please leave me a like below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.